Hi guys, welcome to Robin Hood Diaries again today. Hope you're well. Fair to Midland here. I gotta think of something besides fair to Midland, because that's just like I'm always like even, and I'm not. Okay. Anyway, I preview today as the culture of international mail. Now, this is not, I'm not kind of like, wobbly on this topic. It was a culture, it was a lifestyle. This was not just a magazine or a catalog. It was a store as well. I think they had two, or I don't know, a couple in Europe. One, who cares? The main, the epicenter of international mail was a store on Santa Monica Boulevard. Just, I say Boys Town, no offense. It's just, I'm OG. Just a little bit down from Boys Town, which sort of is like at Robertson and San Vicente, this one kind of block or two. International Mail was just a little bit further down, right next to Studio One, which was my second home. I did a whole show on that. I could probably do 3 more shows on that. But International Mail. Now, International Mail, I say, was a culture and a lifestyle because it really was. It came on the scene in the 70s. Yes, it was known for flouncy, weird, colorful, offbeat, somewhat, not effeminate, but very fluid. International mail today, if it was sort of brought up to stylistic standards, would be perfectly acceptable. It's all metrosexual. It's all, everything like, societally is, well, not everything, but we tend to be much more embracing of things that were not embraceable at international mail. Now, I'm going to just talk about international mail. I'm not going to get into the history of international mail and the impact and the changing of hands and how it went up and down. I'm not here for that. Again, my stories are about emotional impact only. I do not Google them. If I'm wrong, I'm wrong. I think I thought the other day, like, oh, I was off on that person or that date. But whatever, you get what you get. Okay, so this was a place. Let's just forget about the cultural part and the style part, lifestyle part. Although lifestyle was very much a part of international mail. Now, again, most people's association with international mail is a racy catalog of guys. And the other trope is that, ooh, I can't wait to get my international mail so I can, what. And that is really not, that's so incidental. That's what you'll get like on some AI documentary. But international mail was a thing. And international mail was an irresistible thing. And I don't care, if you'll excuse me, I don't know, but every queen in town shopped in international mail. Of course, I had different styles throughout the ages, but this was a 10-year patronage of this store. From about 1985, when I was just over adult age, until 95, which is, well, let's say 93. It was just before I met my husband. I was not going to international mail after I met my husband, or he wouldn't go out with me. I'm kidding. Well, I have a funny story. I think I'm going to do a show about our first date. It was hysterical. I got to do that one. Anyway, so international mail is a place where you just went. You just went. Now, of course, there is a small percentage of West Hollywood in the 1980s, early 90s, mid to late 80s is just like the white hot period for international mail, if you don't count like sort of its rise and sort of its, I don't know, turning into sort of like, Condé Nast, whatever. It was bought and whatever. It doesn't matter. So you would go, okay, so it was a stretch of store. It had its own little block. Here was Lapeer, which is where Studio One, the Colossus was. And here was this, actually was a Mercedes-Benz dealership that my mother, my father, and I crashed into when I was like, I don't know, 4, through the window. Okay, anyway, so international mail is, I don't know, 1 door down from there on its own little corner there. Had the whole end of a small block. You pulled in, of course, parking in front was always loaded. If you went to international mail, you can find a parking space. It was like bingo, brass ring, because you wanted to stay an hour in there. So let's just get into kind of like being there.